Thank you for joining us on the iGaming channel. Today, we're looking at gambling affiliate programs explained. I'm putting this together off the back of 20 plus years experience as a iGaming media agency owner, iGaming affiliate, and a former white label casino owner. So today we're breaking down what every affiliate needs to know and understand before you promote gambling affiliate brands, specifically looking at Rev Share versus CPA versus hybrid deals. So if you've ever really wondered how gambling affiliate payouts really work, or which one is right for you and the best strategy, stick around as I'll cover that in the next 10 or 15 minutes. So firstly, in iGaming affiliate marketing, there's three main commission models. The first one is Rev Share. That is basically a commission based on the losses that the players incur that you send. So if you send a player and they lose $1,000, you might get paid anything from $250 to $500. Basically, the more your players lose, the more you get paid. That is slightly volatile because if your players win, you don't get paid. So the next type of payout is CPA, cost per acquisition. This is where you get a one-time payout for every qualified player that you refer. The third model is hybrid, which is a mix of Rev Share and CPA. So you get a payment up front every time you send a player, they deposit and wager a certain amount, and then you get an ongoing revenue share, i.e. a percentage of their losses. Each model has its pros and cons, and your choices can seriously affect your earnings over the long term. So let's break it down. First of all, the Rev Share deal. That's what most of the big affiliates work on, because that's where the most money can be made. I've made over £1,000 euros per player before on a revenue share. Ever on a CPA, you'd be lucky to get offered more than 200, 300, 400 euros, unless you have high volumes of traffic and a well-proven reputation, in which case I've heard of CPAs going up to $700, $800 euros. But on a rev share basis, you can theoretically earn thousands of dollars per player. You can also earn tens of thousands of dollars for a single player, which has happened to me before, which is absolutely fantastic. So the pros of Rev Share is really it's a passive income. You get paid month after month from the same players. So if you land a nice VIP who loses a couple of $1,000s every month for the next few years, that's you a nice income. And if you can get to the point where you've delivered hundreds of players to various different platforms, you get a nice steady passive income. Every month you're getting paid from different sources. It's a lovely lifestyle because you can kind of pick and choose when you work. You can theoretically take a month off and you're still going to get paid from the previous work that you did and players that you sent. So with the Rev Share, it really has the highest long-term potential, and it compounds as you build your player base. So the more players you send, the more your Rev Share monthly payments build and grow. You do have to keep sending players to the program because it does deteriorate and decay to a certain extent over time, but it is the biggest way of earning in the iGaming space. It is a bit slower to scale. So starting off, if you're sending one or two players here and there, it might take a while to build up, but the beauty of Rev Share is you send a couple of big players and you start to get paid really well. I guess one of the cons with Rev Share is the volatility. If you get unlucky and your players win across the course of the month, you get paid nothing. But that doesn't happen very frequently. From my experience, if I send a decent base of players, I mean, I've had programs where I get paid 100 months in a row, but then I have other programs where maybe 1 month in 6, the players will win and I don't get paid. The other big thing that you have to look at with Rev Share is negative carryover. All of the programs that I recommend, and I've got a list of my top 100 in the description below, they have negative carryover. What that is, say, for example, I sent a load of players to a casino, they lose 10,000 across the course of the month. If on the last day of the month, someone wins 100,000, there's suddenly a deficit of 90,000 there. And you don't want that to carry over month per month. Because let's say, for example, you've been working for an affiliate program for years, you sent them hundreds or thousands of players. Let's say one of those players gets lucky and wins a massive jackpot. You don't want that to strangle your revenue for forever, and until that jackpot's been lost back. So always look out for negative carryover, which is something as an affiliate you must insist on. So next up, looking at the CPA, cost per acquisition type structure. This is more like a bounty system. So you get a flat fee, and that is highly negotiable. Industry rates are anything from $50 up to $800 roughly, and that payment is triggered when you send a player, they sign up, and then they meet specific criteria. The pros for that are is fast payout. So if you just want your money back quickly and you don't want to take the risk or spend time building up Rev Share, that's a good way to get quicker payout up front. There's also no volatility. So it doesn't matter what the players do, if they win or lose, or if they stick around, you still get paid. And also it's fairly simple to account for. You send 10 players, you get 2,000. It's as simple as that. So some affiliates prefer that, because if you've got an affiliate model, your business, your website, your platforms are bringing in players at, say, a flat $100. If you can sell those at $300, then you've got a straight 3-to-1 profit margin, which some affiliate prefers. Some affiliates prefer. I guess the negative is the CPA. There's no long-term upside. So if you suddenly lose your SEO traffic on a Google update, or you suddenly get sick and have to take some time off, you might not necessarily be able to maintain that revenue. There's also, do look out for strict qualification criteria. Like, I've seen affiliate programs before, and they're like, yeah, I'll give you $400 CPA. But then you look at the small print, and your players would have to come in and lose $400 before you get paid $400. In which case, if it was, say, a $400 deposit and wager before you got paid, you might find that only 5% of players actually do that. So your $400 CPA is actually a $20 CPA. So look for a fair qualification criteria. The fairest you can have really is to make the minimum deposit and do some wagering, which most insist on. You can get capped. Like, also some, I've been ripped off before, where someone say orders makes a 10-player order. Organize a big email blast. We deliver 25 players, and they say I'm only paying for 10, regardless of quality. So look out for the caps as well on CPA deals. CPA deals generally work best for paid media, influencers, or high volume affiliates that just need liquidity. You know, if you want money quickly, CPA can often work best. The sort of middle ground from that is the hybrid deal. That's the best of both worlds in theory. You get a smaller upfront CPA and a reduced revenue share. Typically, that might be something like $100 CPA and a 15% revenue share. So in that, at least you get some of your money up front, plus you have a residual income on the Rev Share. The pros of that is really it's a balanced risk and reward. So even if your players win, you know, you're still getting paid something on them. It also cushions the upfront costs, whilst at the same time building a passive income. And also it's flexible for diverse traffic sources. The negatives of a hybrid deal are really that you get lower payouts on both sides. You don't get a competitive CPA, you don't get a competitive Rev Share, and it can also get messy if the brands change the terms mid-deal, which can sometimes happen. It's really best the hybrid deal for affiliates testing traffic sources or scaling SEO, when you really want some liquidity, but at the same time you want a passive income at the same time. So I guess if you were going to decide which payout model would fit your business best, I would say in the case of long-term SEO on a site or blog, definitely Rev Share. It takes a while to build up the player base and compound passive income, but once you've got to a tipping point where you've got a nice regular base of players, becomes a regular residual income which you can build on and keep building till you get to a really comfortable lifestyle. If you're working in the social media or influencer space with a high volume, I'd probably recommend a CPA, because the player quality isn't so good, and I'd rather have the payment up front and not have to worry about the passive income long term. And is the program going to change its terms? Will it get bought out? Will it close down? That sort of thing. If you're doing paid ads and a content site type combination, I'd probably recommend the hybrid. If you're a new affiliate and you're testing programs, I definitely advise the CPA or hybrid option. So I've had many instances over the last 20 years, I'll send a small sample of players, maybe 5 or 10, as a test. I'll see it didn't convert really well. The player retention's rubbish. On a rev share, I didn't even get paid anything. And sometimes also, if you do a test and you don't research your program, sometimes you might say, send someone 5 or 10 players. You speak to the affiliate manager, you say, look, it didn't work out for me. I'm not sending any more traffic. And they just close your account. You get paid nothing. So you kind of leave yourself open to an extent on a rev share that you're almost committed to continually working for it. I've had quite a few affiliate programs where I say, look, I'm not sending you any more traffic. I've got much better places to send the traffic. And I say, okay, then if you're not going to send us any more traffic, just cut your affiliate program. Renege on all terms, nothing you can do, unless you're going to spend a few $100,000 and a few years in court. Course, the experienced affiliate that's got traffic data, definitely go with the rev share all the time, but do read the terms and conditions, because some of these programs, they put sneaky terms in, like if you don't send X amount of players, they'll stop paying you. So rev share is really for the long term, definitely for the long term, whereas CPA is more of a get your money up front, a bit less money, but there's less risk because you're getting paid the money up front. So to summarize my tips, after I promoted over 100 programs, some of them I was one of the big sports books, second biggest affiliate in the UK for a few years, so kind of been around the block and back. Most importantly, is there a negative carryover? If you're working on rev share, you should only take programs with a negative carryover, because otherwise one day you'll get a big winner and then you have to earn that win back, and that might take forever if it's a really big win or you've got a small player base. If you're doing CPA deals, check what the deposit and play rules are, because some of them will just quickly agree a CPA deal and then you think nothing of it, and then you see that you've sent 10 players but you've only been paid on 2, and you speak with the affiliate manager, you're like, hey, I've sent you 10 players, why have you only paid me for 2? They'll be like, oh yeah, did you not see your players have got a deposit and wager $400 before you pay you? And then you realise you missed the small print. There's nothing you can do. A couple of months, you decide not to promote it anymore. Maybe they close you down. Maybe a couple of months later, you get paid on 1 or 2 here and there. So do check out the criteria when it comes to deposit and wagering if you're doing CPA deals. The third thing that I'd recommend is to work only with licensed operators. Unlicensed operators or operators working in grey markets, sometimes they just get their player base pulled from them. For instance, I remember years ago I was sending hundreds of players to a big program over in Australia, and one day they suddenly got slapped and they weren't allowed to market themselves in Australia anymore, and my big old regular portfolio of players became worth nothing overnight, and there's nothing you can do about it. Another really important point is the reporting, marketing materials and support. Do they have a platform that updates regularly, has a decent range of creatives and landing pages, promotions, bonuses, that type of thing? And then most importantly, what's their reputation like? Before you pick up any program, spend 5 or 10 minutes looking on Google. So that 5 or 10 minutes might save you 5 or tens of thousands of pounds in the long run. Historically, some of the biggest mistakes I've made in the last 20 years is a random affiliate manager contacts me, blows smoke up my arse, tells me their program's good. I take them on, build up a nice commission, and then one day I don't get paid. And I say, what's happening here? Look them up on Google. Oh shit, there's like loads of affiliates saying they don't pay properly, they dispute payments, they suddenly disappear. So make sure you do your homework. I've got a list in the description of my top 100 affiliate programs, which I'd highly recommend. In each case, I research and vet them thoroughly before I endorse or recommend them. So whether you're chasing upfront cash or building a long-term passive income, understanding how the commission models work is really key to your success, as well as, of course, picking the right program. So thanks very much for watching. As I mentioned, I've got a list in the description below of my top 100 iGaming programs, which will give you a bit of a head start, or if you're a seasoned affiliate, perhaps there's something new that you haven't promoted. Do please follow us, and thanks very much for your time.